Hello everyone and welcome to our webinar about our latest product releases. We'll get started right away because we only have half an hour. So I'm Julia Correa. I'm a project manager here at Dialog Insight. Our development team was quite busy putting the new features for the GDPR together, but they've managed to sneak in a few nice features which were put online a couple weeks ago, to be precise on June 7th. And this is what I will be showing you. So as usual, just a bit of housekeeping before we get started. We are recording this presentation, and following the presentation you will receive the link to the recording and a copy of the PowerPoint. As usual, if you have any questions or comments, please share them in the webinar chat screen, and I will answer them at the end of the presentation. So let's get started. So as I mentioned, these features were put online a couple weeks ago, on June 7. There are 3 of them that were released. So the first item I'm going to be sharing with you is the sharing message results. This is really the email messages that that you receive, that you send out using the Dialog Insight platform. Let me show you on the platform. It will be easier for you to have an idea what I'm talking about. So this is the usual stats page, the summary page that you see after you sent an email. So you have all the results, all the performance, everything related to the message you sent. So now what we have done is we've added at the very bottom here another button that is share results. So if you click on this button, you can disable or enable that option. You can determine a date until when this link is going to be available to whomever you're sending this link, and then the name of the person that you want to share this information with. And this can be anyone, doesn't need to be a user of the platform. If you want to share with your clients, if you want to share with your boss, you can just put their email here and they will receive the message. So let me just give you an example. I'm going to put one of my testing emails and I click send. Message is sent. Let me go to my Gmail account. And you see now that I have the message here for the sharing results. So when I click on the message, I have the information that such and such wants to share the results of this specific message. This is for what company it is, which project, and I have that very easy to memorize password here. So I'm just going to do a copy, click on the email link. I am brought to the page, enter that password, and voila. So here the person will have access to pretty much the same information as you have on the summary page, with the exception that some of you may be able to click on, let's say, messages viewed, and you'll see a list of all the emails that open that message that you received. In the case of this person, this external person, they will not have access to that for privacy reasons, so they only have access to the stats itself, and it's pretty much all the stats information, same ones that you have on your summary page. So that's quite cool. Unfortunately, we don't have yet the option to send this, to create a PDF out of this, but it is on our pipeline, so we'll eventually get to it. So this is our first feature. So let's go to the second release of the month, which is Authorized Senders. So the Authorized Senders is the ability for you to determine which will be the email and the name of the sending on your messages. So right now you enter, or you used to enter, whatever you wanted. You can, let's say, if you have a lot of newsletters, this can be very useful as it will avoid mistakes and putting the wrong sender to associating the wrong sender information to the wrong type of communication, type of message. Let me go back to the platform, go into the sender. So the first thing I'm going to show you is how to configure it. So in order to configure it, and that's actually one thing, some of the things I'm going to show you today, they might have a restrict permission required. So some of you may not see or may not have access to those features. So if that is the case, you might have to ask your account administrator to give you permission. So for the authorized senders, the first portion that needs to be done is on the account management. So you saw that I flipped to the account manager here on this icon thing. And you have now this tab, Authorized Senders. So if you click on this tab, and in order to be here, you need to be an administrator. You have the option to activate or deactivate that account, or that option in the account. You can determine just the name of the or the sender and email, or just the email. So you can put whatever name you want, but the sender email is locked. You also have the option to have other as a choice on the menu. Let me show you how it appears when you have an email. So this is an example of an email. So when you have the authorized sender activated and set up, this is how you're going to see it. So you have the sender name and email here. You see that it's now in only just one line. So with this one, I have two predetermined senders, but I also have the option of other. If I click here, I now have the two lines for sender name and sender email, and I can enter whatever I want. And the same thing, you can do the same thing to reply to email. Most cases, the reply to email is the same as the sender. So once one is set up, the reply to email will automatically be set up. But if you have a predetermined reply to email, you can set it up here as well, the same way. So if we go back to setting it up, so once it is activated, I can just then add, and here I can determine to which project I want to associate this sender name and sender email, and then I enter the name and the email that will be associated with this project. So that's, then you add, and it will be automatically here and will be automatically associated with that communication type that you were setting up, that you were preparing. I just want to show you, so if I click here or unclick here on allow users to manually enter, I just want to show you the effect here. So I'm just going to refresh this screen. And you will see that now when I click here and I go to sender, I no longer have the other option. So for this message, whomever is preparing this message only has the option to use one of these two sender names and emails. Once this is activated, the other place you can go to set up or actually to add is on the contact module. So we'll go back to contact and we go to configuration and then message, and you see that now I have this authorized sender little tab here. So once I click here, I can now add a new sender email and a new sender message, and here I can determine to which I can't determine to each project this is going to be associated, but I can determine to each type of communication this sender email and sender name will be associated with. If the option is deactivated, this authorized senders will not show up here. So I'm just going to show you really quickly. I'm just going to open this on another tab, just facilitate. So if I go deactivate this and I go back to again, I'm under configuration, under message, I no longer have authorized senders available to me. On this screen here, most of you should have access to it. If you don't, again, you should just talk to your account administrator, and he or she can grant you access to this to see this. I'm just going to activate that back. So let me double check that for those two features that I presented, so the sharing message results and the authorized senders, those are available to you right away. As I said, the release was put online on June 7th, and they are available to you. It's just a question of if you have the permission to see them or not. Let's go to our last feature of the month. And this one is a bit technical, so please bear with me. And this feature is related to setting up your personalized and secure domain using Dialog Insight application. So this will give you a bit more autonomy in setting this up. And just to give you a bit of background why we're putting this, implementing this, is this coming July, Google will put in place a new version of Chrome, and one of the things that this new version will have is that it will highlight a page, form or whatever, if it is not secure. So you really, especially if you're talking about a form, you really want your clients, your contacts, to feel confident that whatever information they're entering in a secure link, right? So just to give you an example of currently, this is, let me just open the right page. So currently, this is how an unsecure, let's say, page will show up. So you have, oh, no, that's not correct. It usually has a little icon here that will tell you that this is a non-secure page or form. And today is quite discreet. I'm not quite sure why it's not showing up on my page, but today is it's quite discreet. It's just like a little exclamation mark, and when you click on the exclamation mark, you have the information that it's a non-secure site, and they have some information on cookies and all that stuff. But we don't know how exactly Google is going to change this to, but we expect it to have, you know, maybe bright red or some bells and whistles to show that, warning, you are on an unsecure page. So what we put online, and sorry, it's once again, this one is under account management, so this will require someone that has an administrator permission to do this, and this may also require some assistance from, well, not may, this will require assistance from your technical team. So we go to the domain management. Under here, this first page shows you all the different domains that you have set up and what they are used for within the platform. If you're setting up your domain for the first time, and I'm going to use this one just to show you as an example. The first thing we need to do is to validate the domain. And what this does is it assures that this domain belongs to you. Okay, so you enter here the domain you want to validate. You click continue, and you have two ways of doing this. You can either do it through a file, which is a similar process that I believe Google has if you need to validate your site with Google. And if you choose file, you'll get the instructions here on where you need to drop your file and what you need to do. Once this is validated, you're going to click on validate. Once the file is there and you click on validate, and Dialog Insight will then pick it up and validate. But I don't want to use that one, so let me just go back here, and I want to show you the other option, which is a DNS record, which was the one we actually did for this one. So the same way, if you choose a DNS record and you press continue, once again you get the instructions, and again you're probably going to need your IT team, your technical team, to set this up under your DNS record. So they need to enter this piece of code. Once this is done and they let you know that they have changed that, you click on validate, and you see here it's been validated because we have already done it ahead of time. It may take a couple minutes. So once the domain is validated, now we're going to personalize the domain. So I'm going to add a domain, and now it shows up here. So I choose that domain, which is the escape.tv. And when I get there, I have the option, I have the instructions here on what I need to do. And once again, at this stage, you're going to need your IT team to help you set up your DNS record to configure your CNAME. And here are the instructions. Once your IT team has done that, and you have here more instructions that you can share with them. Once this is set up, you can then validate the DNS record. And so it got validated. And now I go to my second step. And I'm sorry, I think I am in the wrong one. It was this one that I want to do. So once I validated, which was that first step, I am now going to set it up. We have 3 options. You can leave it as unsecure, which is not, of course, the recommended option. You really want to have a secure link. Do it for me, which is Dialog Insight will perform and create and install the SSL certificate. So that is, once that is done, you'll be able to have the HTTPS in front of your URL. Or if you have your own certificate, if your team, your IT team already has certificates and they just want to install that one, you can choose that, and then they will need to take over and do the installation of the certificate. In our example, we're going to use do it for me, and I'll click complete, and the process will start, and they, once it's validated secure, you're going to get this message here. Okay. And then an example of what happens if I go back to my form, and hopefully this time it will give me, you see now here I have Google saying that this is secure. So now I can see it says connection is secure, it gives me information, says it's a valid certificate, number of cookies, and blah, blah, blah. So this is what you really want your clients to see, your contacts to see when they are when they are on your forums or on your website, or when they click on your newsletter on a call to action, you want them to be sent over to a page that is secure well, that is secure, really. So hopefully I didn't go too fast and I didn't drive you guys too crazy with all this stuff. But this is pretty much what I had to present. Let me just have a quick look to see if we have any questions. Oh, I do have a couple questions. So let's see. First one, can we share the stats of several messages at the same time? I imagine you're talking about the accumulate, or well, accumulate if you're doing several messages at the same time. So no, unfortunately, up to now, it's one message, the stats of one message at a time. You can't really accumulate it or put a whole bunch of stats together. Another one also on sharing results, kind of related. Would the sharing of stats for multiple messages, like using the accumulate or compare, be available? So like I said, no, it is in our pipeline, but it can only be one message at a time for now. Here's a question regarding survey. Can we share the results of a survey? Well, we aren't currently really developing much for that module, but that said, you can, there is an option on that module that allows you to share all the answers so that an email is sent with all the answers received. It's not exactly the same format that I've just showed you, but it's still a way to share the results. Let's see, what else do we have? It's a question. Is there really an added value in personalizing our domain and securing our forms if we are using Dialog Insight to send our newsletters? And what about the web version? Okay, absolutely, there is value in securing your pages. As I mentioned, you really want to give your clients the confidence that they are on a secure page, that if they're entering data, that they are entering data in a site that is secure and not that it's open. And when you personalize your domain, you make the experience to the client more transparent, is because we use links and we track your links for the stats. Every time, if you don't have a CNAME, if you don't have a personalized URL, when you click on that link, you're going to see the user, the client, your client will see a app.dialog.com and then whatever the link is. So you don't really want that. You want them, whenever they click, they see your domain name, your company name on that URL, so that to them you're still in your environment, within your environment. So those are really the benefits of having a personalized domain, is giving really the client that security, that it is a secure domain, and that he or she remains on your site. There was a second part to that regarding the web version. It's the same, kind of the same thing I just explained. So the web version, even if you click on the web version, if you have your personalized domain, you're going to have your name on that domain. If you don't, the client will see app dialoginsight.com. So it may look a bit weird to that person that, okay, I was at store ABC, but now I'm in someone else's site. What's going on? So it may break a bit the trust you have on your client and on sending them information. And the same thing, like some people sometimes can't make the confusion about, oh, but my website is secure. Do I still need to secure when I send you when I send messages through you? Yes, you do, because your website and your newsletters, if you're sending your newsletters through Dialog Insight, they are not connected, so they are independent. So great that your website is secure, but that doesn't make your newsletters automatically secured. See if I think I covered that, but I think that that was it for questions. But if you think of something else, or if you have any other comments, if you feel that I missed something, or you want to reach out, you want to talk to us, just reach out to your account or project manager. And of course, you can always send us a message at info@dialoginsight.com. And well, thank you for joining us. And until next time, have a great day.